You're joining me at my Kent syndicate, somewhere where I'm going to be spending the next few trips up until certainly mid-November on. It's an amazing lake, and on the way down here, I'm not going to lie, I get really nervous thinking, is the lake going to be busy? Isn't it? And unfortunately, the lake's really busy. I'm not surprised. I mean, look at the weather. It is absolutely banging. So I had a walk round, and the normal spots that, well, put it this way, the last couple of trips that I've done have been really good, and obviously I'd like to have got back in that sort of area, but sadly I couldn't because the lake is busy. So after a good look round, I've decided I'm going to drop in this little corner. It's a lovely corner. In the past I've caught some amazing fish out of here. It actually has sort of been pretty unfishable for quite a while due to the huge amount of weed that was pushed into here, but the weed doesn't look too bad. I'm going to have a good lead around, might have to do a little bit of gardening, but I'm pretty sure that my old spots that I used to fish will be pretty cool. It looks pretty clear out there, and I'll get a couple of rods out on there, and then maybe have a look up the margin and get a rod in there, because like I say, it has done fish for me in the past, but I haven't fished it for a couple of years, so who knows. So I'm going to get the rods out and see how we get on. Quick flick just to the side of this island, in front of the island. That went down nice. Pulling the braid back, you feel the lead come towards you. I can actually feel it getting hung up in some weeds, so we'll redo that. Just going to go a little bit more to the left. Now, I haven't fished this swim in a couple of years, and it used to be quite nice just out to the left, so oh, that felt a lot better. Yeah, that is smooth. Just getting caught now, so that's all right. So I'm going to go a little bit further out. God, this wind is pushing in here. Go a little bit further out, but that felt all right. Just going to go slightly to the left, slightly to the right rather. Oh man, that's felt a lot better. That felt, oh, that lead is just gliding towards me. That is lovely, soft silt. Quickly reel that in. Quick smell of the lead. Oh, I smell my lead. Smells all right. Doesn't smell rancid or yucky. Oh mate, I'm getting a lovely drop on that. It's like just soft silt. Not soft that the lead's plugging into it, but just imagine like a lead falling in a bag of flour and you get that puff. That's what it feels like. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that spot, that's for sure. That's good, that's encouraging. Line lay's not going to be amazing, but I can do a little bit of gardening work just to sort my line lay out. Another quick cast just to slightly to the right of it. Getting caught up there. I think it's not as far out as I just cast it, so. That is the spot. I'm going to clip that up because that's mega. I could easily get 2 rods on that. So important. You can have that line laying as discreetly as possible without going over big bits of weed, 100% it gets you more bites. It's a lot of graft. I know it's a lot of work, but it is so worth doing. Just for that one cast, this is like half a bivvy sized bit of weed coming in. A lot of it this time of year anyway is breaking up, so most of this is floating, you know. So if you just take your time, go really slowly, you can catch up with it and just slowly pull it in. These little weed rakes are amazing for that. Well mate, that's about that. It's so deep down there, man. Jokes deep. It's nice to work for it. Coming into a swim and doing a little bit of graft. Like the swimosia then. Thanks for tidying me up. I'm going to reward you with a carp. That's what we hope anyway. Over the most recent years, I'll pretty much say that the majority of carp that I've caught have been caught over particle baits, or at least baits to replicate different types of particle. Now, this particle that I'm about to show you is actually what I would class as a fermented particle. Now, a lot of people might not understand what that is, or might think, what the hell do you mean fermented particle? But it's simply a very simple process in producing particle. It's a particular type of particle that I use, and in this instance it's made up of a few parts, and in here there's a concoction of different seeds, pulses, wheats, mazes, maples, green beans. I can go on and on and on, but basically what I've created is lots of different textures, lots of different smells, lots of different flavours and lots of different colours, which in turn the carp absolutely love. With that I add hemp. Hemp I actually don't ferment. It's only the mixed particles that I do ferment, but I add hemp at the end, and this to me creates a mega mix full of so many different sized food items that stay in your swim for ages and ages. But to turbo that, I add lots and lots of krill boilies. Now I use 12mm krill. I fish for big carp. I don't use big baits. I haven't used big baits in a long time. That might be a personal preference, but this is what I find works extremely well with this particle. And this very much replicates food particles that are already in the mixed particle that I've concocted up. So imagine that, you know, being similar to say a maple or something. That gets crushed up, right? I crush that up mega into like a fine powder using the Ridge Monkey crusher and mix it together in the particle. Then I add lots of liquid from the fermented particle, which makes it really sloppy, and that is a key thing I think to this type of particle mix, is making it really sloppy and really wet. I also use lots of salt. That gets chucked in there, and I also give it a real good dollop of this, because particles take on so much flavours. Obviously they boost their own, they're very sweet, loads of sugars, but I give them an extra dollop of that, which proper supercharges the bait. I let that sit for a little while to really take it in, and let me tell you, recently on a lake where I was fishing where you couldn't actually use mixed particle, I thought, how can I get around this? So I used hemp, which was allowed, and then I used the crumb, and I used lots and lots of water, bits of boilie, loads of this and loads of salt, and I actually fed it to a spot, right, which is very close to me, no more than 6 foot out, and I watched this carp, a old wily old thing, come in, and it absolutely smashed my spot to death. There wasn't loads of bait, admittedly, but it smashed it to death. And I watched him pick up my rig and spit it out. And I thought, what was that about? That was my best ever rig. And I thought, that's it, chance has gone, I've ruined it. Anyway, he waddled off. 30 seconds later, he come back in, smashing the bottom to bits. Now, there was no food there at all. I could see it, the water's crystal clear, it's only 6 from me. And he smashed the spot to death again, left, came back, left. He'd done this about 10 times. There was nothing there. So this stuff stays in the bottom of the lake bed, sits in the sediment, whether it's the salts, the grounded up boilie, the liquids that I put in it, or the actual smell and taste of the particle that still sat in the sediment, whatever it was, he could not resist coming back. And later on, he come back at a different angle, picked up my hook bait, and I nailed him. I got the bugger. But what I'm saying is, this stuff fishes constantly. So this is always fishing, even when physically you can't see any type of particle. So remember, keep it sloppy. Sloppier the better, and it sits in that sediment for ages and just increases your catch rate of catching another carp. But before we close, just have a look at this. Look at that, all different sizes, all different textures, different smells, and you can see what I mean by very sloppy, very wet. It is my ultimate baiting up method, and I could go anywhere and feel very confident that I'll catch a carp on that. How I ferment my particles is a very simple method. Once the cooking process is done, it is simply the case of leaving the mixed particle just to chill, just to rest. I leave it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, all depending. But the secret is, that I've found, is to leave loads of water on top of the bait itself. So I use a massively oversized bucket, depending on how much of a batch I'm making, and I keep a real good amount of water over the top. And what you get is a real scummy, horrible, foamy, cotton wool looking skin over the top. You literally scoop that off, go deep below the water, and you can literally feel how thick and congealed this mixed particle has become. In turn, it's become very soft, very digestible for carp. And like I say, because of the different ingredients that make it up, you've got the crunchiness of all the different seeds, you've got the softness of the maize, the maples, etc. It just finds it, or carp find it, irresistible. And I know that you probably look at it and think there's no way I can use that. And there is a little test. If it smells vinegary or very alcoholic, then yeah, it's not right. It shouldn't be smelling like that. It should smell pretty much like vomit, is the only way to describe it. But it has that nutty, that earthy sort of smell. And to me, I smell it and it just screams carp, bites, fish, PBs, whatever it is. Like I say, it is my go-to, and just make sure you get on it and start fermenting some particle for yourself. Perfect. Oh yeah! Mate, they are going off tonight or in the morning, but they are definitely going off. That and relax now. I'm actually really happy with the way things have just gone. Like I say, I haven't fished this swim quite a long time, so you know, the first cast, you're always like, please, let's make it easy for me, and luckily it was. You know, my old spots proper cracked down, so I was buzzing with that. So I got two, you know, about 30-35 yards out, very close together, with quite a bit of bait, and then the other rod up the margin went out sweet as well. So I'm actually quietly confident. The weather seems to be sort of getting a little bit stronger. Oh, I did see two as well, so that sort of fueled the fire a bit. So yeah, I am actually really confident. However, a couple of guys are off tomorrow, and the reality is the bulk of the fish are up the other end of the lake. So carp fishing is like a game of chess, I suppose, so I'm sort of planning my next move, and unless I absolutely clump it down here, then I will definitely pretty much be moving tomorrow morning, and I've got an idea of where I want to drop in. So I know that's becoming available, so that is definitely an option for me. But until then, I just got to ride this night out because we've got a mega storm coming in. It's going to be savage. But before that, I'm going to get the barbecue on, have a bit of food, and see what tonight brings. If it doesn't happen tonight, there's a good chance in the morning, but I am confident. So until then, let's just kick back, relax, and see what happens. Right, let's get these in. Nothing happened last night other than lots and lots of rain and some savage thunderstorms. But although there was a couple of fish in here last night, there's certainly not today. I've had the birds diving on me all morning, which would suggest that I've got lots of bait still left out there. That's come in sweet, but matey at the other end, he's off. So we've got to be quick, get on my toes and get up there, because I think I've got much more of a chance up there. Although there was definitely fish here, it just wasn't the one, but it's worth a go while the lake's busy. So less of this chat, and let's get wrapped up quick, smart. The mate who was in this swim earlier, he caught a lovely mid-40 common last night. So he rung me and said he was off. And ideally, I wanted to be up this area from the start, but obviously the lake's busy. So I thought I had a chance in the corner, but yeah, nothing happened. So anyway, he rung me and I quickly got up here, left the rods in the swim, went back and loaded up the car. And walking into the swim now, it just feels so different. We're off the back of the wind. It looks pucker. I mean, the fish have been stacked up in front of this sort of area of the lake for a long time now, and I really, really do think that we're in with a chance of a bite. The other swim, it felt good, I'm not going to lie. The wind was pushing in there, it did feel good, but here just feels different gravy. So I best get this car unloaded because we've got a break in the weather, and get these rods out before it absolutely hammers it down again. Chuck this out there, looking for a nice clean area. Ideally big enough to put 3 rods in. The idea is find someone nice and smooth, but there's quite a bit of weed out there. It's not really thick, but it's not what I'm looking for. Lift that up, drop it down. But yeah, I'm going to find a spot, hopefully fish 3 rods on it, and then I'm also going to find another spot down to my left. It's a really good area down there to the left, and put some bait on it, get the wraps, and if I do have a fish during the night on one of these rods, I definitely don't want to be putting the rod back out there because they will be fishing tight and I don't want to spook them. These fish are so spooky. I don't want to risk cocking up another potential bite on the rod. So if I can find another spot to the left, if I do catch one, then I'll stick the rod that I have a fish on the spot to the left. But I've got to find a spot out here first. Oh, that went down nice. Let's just see. I just pull the braid back towards me. I can just feel absolutely everything through this braid. You feel it getting caught up on bits of weed. And you know when it's nice and clear because it just slides back. See that? That's nice. That's really nice. So I'm just going to wind that to there, clip that up, and have a few casts around the area. But if that's big enough, then that will be 3 rods fishing tight on that. Perfect. Right, now I've got a slap one in the middle. That's going to be fun. Oh, yeah! She went straight down the middle. That was perfect. Three rods went out absolutely pucker, nice and tight, got a nice bit of bait around them, so they're all sorted now. And we had to quickly retreat back to the bivvy because the weather is savage. But it stopped, we have a little break, it's not raining, and we have a little flick round like I said earlier to the left, and if I can find another spot, and if I am lucky enough to catch a fish in the night, I have a sort of backup plan. So yeah, let's go and find a spot, and hopefully the rain will hold off for a little bit. Okay, just found a lovely little spot. Give it another little flick out there. Oh yeah, nice. Nice, nice, nice. That's nice and clear. So deep in that corner. They do get in there. But yeah, good backup I think. It's well out the way from those rods. So like I say, it's I would never on here risk trying to squeeze that rod back on that little spot, any of those 3 rods. Because in the past, if you have a bite, then you've got a really good chance of getting another bite very quickly after. And if you cast on them, you risk spooking them. So in this case, I can still fish with 3 rods, but I can put one in a totally different area, like this here, which feels really nice. So I think that will do. I'll wrap that up, put a little bait on it, and have it as a backup plan. We spent the whole summer grizzling that we haven't had any rain, and now it's raining. We're grizzling because we're having loads of rain. That's the English for you. The garden's going to look mega. That's what I'm worried about. Watering the old plants in the garden. Oi, oi. I've been fishing particle for so long, like as long as I can remember. I think my earliest memories of using it properly would have been dating back to like a syndicate lake I used to fish, and they used to have a fully active like wildfowlers on the lake. So every sort of September, October, they would come and introduce loads of buckwheat into the margins for the birds, and then come around and shoot all the birds. But I noticed that when they used to do it, the carp used to go crazy on it. So I remember, I don't know how old I was, 16, something like that probably. So I got some buckwheat. I used to backfill the margins and just caught loads of carp from then. But obviously since producing it in the shop, I used to make it for myself, and then my mates would ask me to make them some, and then it just went from there really. So 25 years at least. At least. Finally the rain has actually stopped and the sun's come out, which is quite nice, because today it has been non-stop. We had I don't know, maybe 2 hours of no rain earlier, which gave me enough time to actually move into this swim now, have a good lead around and find a spot that I was happy to fish on. I did find a lovely clear area about 80 yards out, and I've managed to get all 3 rods within a few feet of each other and baited nice and tightly with that lovely particle and krill combo. So I'm going into the night really confident. I'm not going to lie. This is the area that has been doing bites over the last few weeks, and you know, tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, one of those rods will ramp off. I'm very confident of it. So fingers crossed. I hope it happens. I really do, and I hope it's one of the big ones. In fact, I hope it is the big one, the one that I really, really want to catch. But you know, we live in hope. The rods are out there. I'm confident. I'm happy. Just got to add some carp. So hopefully you'll see one later on.
These days, they fill with color. They're sewn together, and now they're holding us. This place, like a painted vision.
Look at that. Check out that massive scale there. Shoulders on it, man. Massive shoulders. And there it is. Hence the old name Nelson. Only one eye, bless. One of the big ones.
We are running free. We are running free.
Oh, check that out. The second biggest mirror in the lake. A fish aptly known as Nelson, simply because it's got one eye. One of the true characters, and comes with a really interesting story too. But look at it. Proper old battler, this one. Gave me a real good fight. Got in the weed. Buried himself deep in the weed. But you know, you just got to stay calm. Stay patient. And eventually, oh no, girl, it's all right. Eventually, it came good. And actually, this was number one. Because we had another one shortly after. Oh, I know, it's all right. And would you believe it? It was another 40 pounder. So this one is 45 pounds, or just over. And the other one was a 40 pound common. What a mega morning's fishing, eh? Oh, what a carp, come on.
There's a rush
well, proper old character rather.
Shake these shadows and find the morning sun.
Like I say, this fish is one of the characters of the lake. Fish known as Nelson because he has got one eye, like I was saying earlier. And when these fish were stocked about 25 years ago, the guy that was stocking the lake got this one out to show the owner at the time, and he was like, I definitely do not want a carp with one eye going in this lake. I want the best of the best, the prettiest. And the guy who was stocking said, listen, just have it, it's going to be a mega carp. And he's like, nope, adamant that he didn't want it. Anyway, the guy that was stocking it just said, oh, you're having it, and just literally chucked it in. It was about £2 at the time. Fast forward 25 years, and here it is. This fish has actually been up to £54 in the spring. So I'm so glad that the guy that was stocking it chucked it in on the snide, because it is a mega carp. Look at it. Whoa, beastie. Right, let's get you back.
The time and place is now. All this beauty we have found. Oh, it's got us rising to our feet. We are running free.
Come on. What a wide load. Oh man, that was epic. I think I'm going to need a little breather before I attempt to pick up the second one, because my arms aren't what they used to be, but I'm sure I'll find the strength to pick up this mega common that I'm about to show you. What a morning. This has been an eventful morning. Started off amazingly. Fishing 3 rods on the spot. I've got to concentrate while I'm talking because it's quite weedy out here, but basically fishing 3 rods on the spot, over the particle. Had a bite on my middle rod first, which ramped off, mega carp. After an epic battle, 40 pounder, like 45 pound mirror. Couldn't believe it. Anyway, so that was that tree, that was that rod up in the tree, out of the game. So 2 rods still on the spot. Half hour later, right-hander, ramped off again. Playing it, not as much of a dogged fight as the previous. Pops up, netted it. Another 40 pounder, I couldn't believe it, a 40 pound common this time. I was like, that move proper paid off. I mean, just sitting here, talking over the morning's action, and the left-hander, it's just pulled up tight, tips pulled down, and we're into the 3rd bite of the morning. And one's just nutted out over there. But I can see this is proper in the weed, it's fizzing up. So just keep that tension on and just keep that fish moving. As long as you keep it moving, you've got a chance. But playing them on braid is it's exciting stuff, because you feel absolutely everything. Makes you feel alive, do you know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, we're attached to something mega. But yeah, what a morning dangling, I tell you. Come on, Gil. It's proper lifting up some weight out there. Gently does it, it's fizzing up big time. Behind where it's just coming out that weed. Do you know what? I almost need to. That looks like another 40 pounder to me.
So much weed in front of here. Every time he gets his head down, just gets in this weed. Huh? Big carp. Slope head. I know this fish, I've caught it before. It's a lovely mirror. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's it. God. Jesus. Oh. Found a stone to stand on. Give you a bit more purchase, which is good. Oh, mate. Come on, girl. Oh, mate. It's off, mate. She's off. She's off.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually I'm pretty wounded. Yeah, no one likes to lose fish. It's mental. I mean, the bite was really. I mean, I'm fishing braid, zero stretch, and the hanger just hit the alarm. Didn't take any line, which would suggest why. I mean, I'm just literally just pulled that off like it was nothing. Hook still sharp. It's just one of them things. I mean, it rucked hard. It proper rucked hard. Kept going deep in front of me in that weed, and yeah, I thought I had him beat a couple of times, but I'm not worried. I've caught it before. It's a lovely carp. I know what fish it was. It was certainly 44 pound, 45 pound maybe. So it would have been nice, but I can't really complain. If it was a long, I'll be crying and probably be suicidal, but it wasn't. Like I say, I've caught it, so lick the wounds and then go and have a look at the other prize that we're about to photograph. But, oh well, dust yourself off and we go again.
Ooh. Oh, mate. What a lovely carp. I love the shape of this one. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at those scales, look. How perfect is that right there? Look. Beautiful fish. Fish number 2, and have a look at him. Oh. Fish known as the chestnut common, for obvious reasons. Pucker carp, just under 41 pounds. So yeah, it just goes to show when you're fishing 3 rods tight on a spot, especially over particle, there's always some other food items there. So once one's coming out of the feed, don't think that all your bait's gone. And I did not want to risk putting out a few more spods of bait, that's for sure. And I'm glad I didn't, because shortly after, the other rod was away and it resulted in this mega carp. Look, it is so pucker. Really long, aggy. Yeah, I'm buzzed. Actually, one of 3 bites on that same spot. So, like I say, I can't reiterate enough. It's a proven method that I do a lot, and it works a lot. So, give it a go. Particle, 3 rods tight on a spot can result on mega carp like this one and that mental mid-40 mirror that you saw earlier. I know I could be a little bit gutted about losing that one earlier, but really, I can't, can I? I mean, look at this fish. Ah, it's a proper one, look. Lovely, lovely common. One of my favourites in here, actually. Really long, beautifully proportioned. And obviously wants to go back home. So thank you so much, Mr. Carp. And I keep saying it, what a lovely brace of fish to start the day. Right, off you go. Stuck in some silt. Time for some breakfast, mate, I think. Mega. I'm very fortunate to grow up in Kent. We're certainly not lacking in big carp. Obviously, you know, the British record has come from Conningbrook, which isn't a million miles away from here, actually. So growing up in Kent, surrounded by fishing, obviously helped me get into the industry, which I know and love. I am absolutely obsessed, not just with carp fishing, but fishing in general, fishing for loads of different species. But carp fishing obviously is my passion. I'm surrounded by it 24/7. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a very good personal life outside of fishing. I like the holidays like the rest of us and spending time with the missus and the dogs and what have you. But ultimately, yeah, especially this place, especially that common that I desperately want to catch, that it is 24/7 for me. I non-stop live and breathe it. And like I say, working in the shop industry, we meet some amazing people, all of which pretty much know the stories of my carp fishing and where it's took me and where I am currently. And let me tell you that every week I probably get asked, have you caught that common yet? Have you caught that common yet? And I will shout from the rooftops when I do. But I'm very fortunate. I love my job. I'm in an industry that I am very, very passionate about, and it sort of goes hand in hand. Work life, shop life, selling, which I absolutely love, and selling products and dealing with people, customers, manufacturers, tackle companies. I'm very, very fortunate to do such a job based around my passion, and I love every minute of it.